The entire prison fell silent that night. Every inmate was wide awake, whispering about what had just happened inside Block C. Marcus, the man who ruled Graystone for years, was lying unconscious on the cold floor, and the one who put him there was a quiet, new inmate no one had ever seen before. But this wasn't an ordinary fight. It was a lesson, one that would shake the prison's entire power structure, because the new guy, the one everyone thought was just another rookie, had a past no one could imagine. He wasn't just another inmate. He was the deadliest MMA champion in history. Graystone Prison was a fortress of despair, where the walls didn't just confine men, they consumed them. Every hallway carried echoes of screams, deals, and broken souls. Among those walls, one man ruled through fear, Marcus Hale. He wasn't the biggest, but he was the cruelest. His word was law. He controlled the food lines, the gambling, and the violence. No guard challenged him. No inmate dared to. Then, one freezing morning, a new inmate arrived, tall, silent, and calm, the kind of calm that made people uneasy. His name was Darius Cole. He didn't talk much, didn't look around. His expression was unreadable, eyes sharp, shoulders steady. When the guards led him through the block, Marcus watched from above, smirking. "Another tough guy," he whispered to his crew. "Let's see how long before he cracks." Rumors spread quickly. Some said Darius was ex-military. Others claimed he killed a man barehanded. Whatever the truth, Darius didn't seem interested in proving anything. He kept to himself, spent hours reading a small, torn notebook. He avoided conflict, avoided eye contact, but not out of fear. It was something else. Something that made even Marcus uncomfortable. And when Darius refused to pay Marcus's tax, that calm silence turned into a challenge. Marcus couldn't let that slide. That night, as the lights dimmed, Marcus leaned forward on his bunk and whispered, "Lights out." And the rookie learns what fear really means. Night descended slowly over Graystone. The air was thick with tension. Marcus and his crew waited in the shadows, their plan simple. Teach the new guy a lesson no one would forget. Meanwhile, Darius sat on his bunk, eyes closed, hands steady. He wasn't praying, he was remembering. The cage lights, the roar of the crowd, the face of the man he'd once knocked out cold, and the guilt that followed. He had promised himself he'd never fight again. But fate had a way of testing promises. When the lights finally went out, the sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor. Marcus's crew moved like predators. The guard on duty didn't even look up. Everyone knew better than to interfere with Marcus Hale. The cell door creaked open. Marcus smirked. "Welcome to Graystone, rookie," he whispered, and threw the first punch. It never landed. Darius blocked it effortlessly, his body reacting before his mind could catch up. A single elbow strike followed, fast, silent, devastating. Marcus stumbled back, shock flashing across his face. His men lunged forward, but Darius moved like water, every motion precise, controlled, efficient. He didn't fight with rage. He fought with mastery. Within seconds, the entire crew was down. Groaning, stunned, defeated. From the security room, a guard watching the cameras muttered, "Who the hell is this guy?" Darius stood over Marcus, his voice calm but cold. "I didn't come here to fight," he said, "but I don't bow to bullies." Then, without another word, he walked back to his bunk and sat down. Lights flickered, footsteps echoed, and silence fell again. By morning, the story had spread across the prison. The unbeatable Marcus Hale had been taken down, not by strength, but by control. And for the first time in years, fear had a new name. Darius Cole. The next few days were tense. Marcus stayed quiet, but behind his silence burned humiliation. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. All he could see was the calm look on Darius's face as he fell. He started training again in the yard, push-ups, pull-ups, shadow boxing, driven not by strength, but by shame. He wanted revenge. But Darius? He spent his mornings helping the kitchen staff, teaching a few inmates basic self-defense, staying away from conflict. He didn't seek dominance. He sought peace. That peace was tested one evening. During yard time, Marcus approached with 6 of his men. The entire yard froze. Even the guards pretended not to notice. Everyone knew something was about to happen. Darius stood by the fence watching the sun set. Marcus's voice broke the silence. "Round 2, he said, cracking his knuckles. "This time no cameras, no excuses." Darius turned, calm as ever. "I told you," he said softly. "I don't fight unless I have to." Marcus grinned, chain wrapped around his fist. "Then you better start." He swung first, wild and furious. Darius sidestepped, catching the chain mid-air and twisting Marcus's arm behind his back. One precise sweep, and Marcus hit the ground. The others charged. Darius moved like a storm, silent, efficient, unstoppable. Every hit he landed was controlled. He never hit more than he needed to. When the dust settled, 6 men lay on the ground. The yard was silent. Darius leaned down and said quietly, "You think power comes from fear, but real power comes from control." Then he walked away, leaving Marcus broken in the dirt, his reputation shattered, his reign ended. That night, Graystone Prison wasn't ruled by Marcus anymore. It was ruled by respect. In the days that followed, Graystone felt different. The chaos had quieted. Men who once walked with fear now lifted their heads. Marcus stayed in the infirmary, staring at the ceiling, replaying every second of that fight. He realized that the man he hated had never hated him back. And somehow, that stung worse than defeat. Darius went on with his quiet routine, reading, teaching, helping. He never spoke about the fight, never bragged, never acted like a hero. But everyone in the prison knew who he was. Not just a fighter, but a man who had learned to master himself. One afternoon, Marcus approached Darius in the yard. No gang, no threats, just silence. He looked at the man who had changed everything and said quietly, "I need to know who you really are." Darius took a deep breath. "I was an MMA fighter once," he said. "World champion. But I lost control one night, hurt someone I shouldn't have. That's why I'm here." Marcus didn't speak for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "Guess you taught me something," he murmured. "Control is stronger than fear." Darius smiled faintly. "It's never too late to learn." That night, as the lights dimmed across Graystone, Darius looked up at the ceiling. He had come to prison as a fighter, but he was leaving it as a teacher, and for the first time in years, the walls of Graystone felt lighter. Not because the violence had ended, but because one man had reminded them that redemption was still possible. True strength isn't about how hard you can hit. It's about how much control you have when you could destroy everything. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes real power comes from compassion, not fear.